Hi FlossTube friends, this is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Sunday, June 29th at approximately 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm coming to you today with a FlossTube update. So hi, it's been quite a while since my last video. It's been over a month and a half. My last FlossTube video was on May 9th. So I have quite a bit of kind of updates to share with you tonight, and also just to kind of talk to you a little bit about some stuff that's been going on, because lots of stuff's been going on since my last video. So if you're new here, thank you very much for stopping by. I look forward to meeting new friends here on YouTube, and you are no different. So thank you very much for stopping by. Hopefully you'll find something here on my channel that will enable you or encourage you to try a new hobby if you haven't yet cross-stitched, or get into some other new hobbies that I also share here with you. And hopefully you'll decide that you like it enough to want to come back. And I have a little hair in my thing. I don't know if it's my glasses. It might just be my glasses. Let me go ahead and wipe them off. Anyway, so if you're a returning watcher, thank you very much for stopping back by. I love spending time here on YouTube with friends, and I'm really glad you're here. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much. Good friends here on YouTube mean a lot to me, and I'm really glad, really glad that you have stuck around with me for quite a while, and that you are a subscriber friend. So thank you very much. If you haven't yet clicked the subscription button below, I encourage you to do so, and also click that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload new content. I have intentions of doing this every 2 weeks or so, but the last month and a half just kind of got away from me, so I apologize for that. But I do intend on doing this at least once a month, and just to give you a stitchy update. So as I said in my intro, today's video is all about cross stitch. I have some other stuff in general to just kind of share with you, because there's been some other updates going on in my life. And yeah, just came here to share with you tonight. So I am in a slightly different location in my house tonight. I am up in the craft room. I have my light behind the camera, and the window is open behind me. It's a little humid outside, but I have my craft room door closed so my cats kind of leave me alone. And it gets kind of cold because there's two air conditioning vents in this room, one on the underneath the window here, and one underneath the window behind me. And it gets kind of cold in here. The air conditioning is on, but I do have the door shut. We had a rainstorm earlier tonight with some thunder and lightning, so the window is open. It's a little humid, but I was actually kind of hoping that maybe we'd get a little ambiance, and you could maybe hear some rain. I don't know if you were able to hear the TV on behind me. I have a Disneyland streamer on YouTube streaming on the TV in my craft room, and just kind of, I like listening to Disneyland streamers and everything like that, because I grew up like 15 minutes from Disneyland. So I grew up going to Disneyland when I was, you know, in grade school, junior high, and high school. And yeah, so I kind of tend to keep that running in the background when I'm working, just so, you know, it's something to listen to. So anyway, thank you for stopping by. Tonight's video, I have some haul to share with you. I have some stitchy updates to share with you. I also have some life updates, some of which also includes speed puzzling, board gaming, video games, because the Switch 2 finally released, and I did get my Switch 2. In fact, I have the shipping boxes from Target down here below that are empty, but my Switch is hooked up to the 4K television in the living room. So I do have the Switch 2, and I also kind of wanted to share some other stuff with you. Some of you may be a follower of Melanie Watkins. She is the Soulful Stitching moderator, owner, creator of the Soulful Stitching Facebook group. She posted that Minnie Gray, who is also another YouTuber, I'll have to put Melanie Watkins and Minnie Gray's YouTube down below for you. Minnie Gray passed away recently, and this weekend, kind of in honor of, in memory of Minnie Gray and all the other members that we have recently lost in the stitching community, Melanie created a Facebook event this weekend to stitch in memory of those who have who we have lost in the stitching community. So that is going on this weekend. Bear with me just a minute. I'm gonna take care of my light. Hold on just a minute. So sorry about that. My cord on my light has a little plug that you put the two bits together, and my foot brushed the plug and it pulled the one end that's plugged into the outlet out from the light. So anyway, that is what happened there. So welcome back. Anyway, I was talking about Minnie Gray. Minnie Gray passed away. A lot of people have been talking about her in Facebook groups and YouTube and whatnot. And so this weekend is Melanie Watkins from Soulful Stitching has created kind of a memorial kind of stitching weekend to stitch in memory of some people that are no longer with us here in the stitching world. And if you watched, I don't remember in my last video if my friend Melanie Pratt, I don't remember if her memorial service was before the video, my last video, or sometime after. I suppose I could look it up. Give me just a minute. I'm going to try and get back into my calendar and look at last month. So my last video was on May 9th. Saturday. Nope. So my last video was on May 9th. And my friend's celebration of life was on Saturday, May 10th. And Melanie was a good friend of mine here in Columbus. And she was an associate at the Cross My Heart Limited local needle workshop here in Columbus, Ohio. And her really good friend Susan were our table mates at Camp Got a Stitch last year. I've known Melanie probably for a good 20 years through the cross stitch shop, Cross My Heart. And Melanie was also a geocacher. And I went to Melanie's memorial service on May 10th after I had uploaded the last FlossTube video. The memorial service for Melanie, her family, Melanie was an avid cross stitcher. She had many things, and her family brought tubs and boxes of stuff that Melanie had, part of her stash, some of her whips, so just some stuff that they wanted everybody to take a little bit of Melanie home with them. So I ended up with a box full of stuff. This is the box full of Melanie's stuff that I ended up with. It is plumb full of all kinds of things in here, you guys. I have a couple of Melanie's whips. I have quite a few of her Mill Hill kits. Melanie was an avid Mill Hill stitcher, and I will be going through that. So part of I haven't stitched. I haven't done a lot of stitching actually since May and into June. I haven't really done much at all. You will see with my totals that I will share with you that I have not really done much. But because Melanie Watkins is kind of hosting this, I figured I would come on and talk to you about my friend Melanie Pratt. Melanie Pratt, she was well known in the central Ohio area because she was a storyteller. She used to go up to Cedar Bog, which is a preserve I think northwest maybe of Columbus, here in central Ohio. She was a very avid member at Cedar Bog. She used to storytell all the time. She was Scottish in heritage, and so she had a lot of Scottish influence in a lot of the stuff that she shared with everybody. She was a very avid stitcher. She has a lot. So I'm going to take this time now to kind of go through some of the stuff that I got from my friend Melanie Pratt. Unfortunately, kind of coincidentally, Melanie passed away quite suddenly. Nobody was expecting her to pass away on March 17th. Quite suddenly. She had knee surgery last fall, and I went over and watched her cat Luna Bon, and her white cat. Luna was such a sweetheart of a cat. She was supposed to have her second knee surgery in March this year, and she had asked me if I could take care of her cat again in March. And unfortunately, because work sent us back to the office full time, I couldn't agree to watch Luna the cat. So she had to have somebody else watch Luna. Ended up kind of in passing. So basically what happened was she was supposed to have her knee surgery in March, but she was having other health concerns that the doctors wanted to take care of first. So they actually postponed her knee surgery. Well, a week or so into March, she wrenched her back and she went into the hospital, and she died March 17th. She wasn't doing really good, apparently, and she was quite a bit sicker than a lot of people realized. A friend of ours, Susan, the lady who was also our table mate and who was Melanie's roommate and assistant and chauffeur at the retreats the last several years, went to see her on Saturday, basically called her brothers and said, you need to get here, Melanie is not right. And they showed up on Saturday and into Sunday, and she passed away Monday morning. Anyway, here's Melanie's cat Luna. Luna is such a sweetheart. These are some of the pictures that I took of Luna when I was watching her. There's a picture, whoops, you're not going to see that, but there's a picture of Luna getting brushed. There's Luna eating some treats. Luna was a very sweet, she was a sweetheart of a cat. And when, on the 18th, my birthday of March, I was out to dinner with some friends for my birthday. And I happened to check my Facebook messages, and Kathy from Cross My Heart had sent me a private message to let me know that Melanie had passed. And I was at dinner with friends, so I was like, oh my God. So I kind of quietly chunked that away until I was able to go home and process it later that night. And I cried because Melanie was just a bright star, and she was liked by everybody that knew her. I feel bad that I never really got to hear many of her stories. She was a geocacher, and we talked a lot about geocaching because I also am a geocacher. I haven't gone out a whole lot. Melanie was a lot more prolific with that. I also came home with a big box of Melanie's geocaching supplies. So that was a really good benefit. So I had a second box of that. But yeah, Luna was a sweetheart. Here's another picture of Luna. But anyway, when Kathy sent me the Facebook message on the 18th of my birthday that she had passed, I went home after having dinner with some friends and I processed it. So at Camp Got a Stitch last year, Camp Got a Stitch is the retreat held by Cross My Heart here in Columbus, Ohio, and it's held up in Amish country every year. It's held in Berlin, Ohio, which is up in the heart of Amish country in Ohio, and it's held usually in the fall. Melanie, sitting at the table with Melanie and Susan this last year, Melanie had been, she's been having knee trouble and hip trouble and stuff. She was, you know, she was a bigger lady, and she was older. She was, I believe, in her 60s, maybe almost close to 70 years old, and she had basically been wheelchair bound for a while, and she was able to walk a little, but it hurt a lot. So she was using a walker and also using a wheelchair whenever she was out in public. She talked the entire weekend at Camp Got a Stitch about having her knee surgeries so she could walk into camp this year. She had paid for her camp before she was slated to have knee surgery. She had her payment all ready to go. So the cross stitch store had her payment and everything ready to go. So unfortunately, Melanie won't get the chance to walk into camp this year, and we're gonna miss her a lot. She was a bright star, shining star, very, very wonderful, very lovable person, and we all do really miss her. But anyway, so I was saying that, you know, she's a prolific stitcher and everything like that. The good thing is that so on Wednesday, so on the 19th, Melanie's housekeeper, I got to meet Melanie's housekeeper that she's been with for over 20 some years. Because the time in the fall last year when I had to watch the cat, there was on a Friday I was going to be going out of town, and I couldn't take care of the cat over the weekend, and Melanie was expecting to come home on Sunday or Monday, so I was going to have to drop off the key to Melanie's condo to the housekeeper. I had the key to the outside because she lived in like a big condo building. And the housekeeper didn't have a key to the main door. She had a key to the apartment, but she didn't have a key to the main door. So I had to make arrangements to get the key to the housekeeper so she could finish watching Lunabon, the cat. Melanie's housekeeper called me Wednesday morning while I was at work, and we were both kind of beside ourselves because Luna was home alone. Luna had no company, you know. Melanie went into the hospital the Monday before she died, so Mel's housekeeper was taking care of Luna that entire week, and until she called me on Wednesday morning and she asked if I'd heard about Mel, and we were trying to figure out who could take the cat, because I couldn't take the cat because we have 5 cats. Luna Bond was an only cat, and she was an older, like probably 13 or 14 years old. She'd only been the only cat. So I didn't think bringing her into a household of 5 cats with 2 of my cats being kind of territorial, I didn't think that would work. And the housekeeper has 3 big dogs, and she didn't think the cat would get along well with the 3 dogs. So we were trying to brainstorm. I put out Facebook posts trying to look for friends that I knew of that might have room in their lives for Lunabon, because we struggled and struggled, and 2 weeks later I found out that another friend of Mel's that had also known the cat and known Mel decided that her home would be perfect for Lunabon. So Luna went to another one of Mel's friends. And from what I understand, I talked to the lady at Mel's memorial service who took the cat. Thankfully, she took the cat. But Luna is doing wonderfully well as far as I know. So everything's good with that. So much happiness that Luna has another human with whom she could bond and, you know, live out the rest of her life as she deserves. So yay for that. Anyway, on to some of the stuff that Melanie got, or Melanie had, and that her family brought to the service. Sorry about that. So I had said that Melanie was a prolific Mill Hill stitcher. She really loved Mill Hill kits. She had, I would spend, when I was taking care of Luna last fall, this was like the second or third time that I'd taken care of the cat over the last couple of years. Melanie had a couple of trees, little Christmas trees and a Halloween tree and some other decorations up all year round in her condo. And in the box of stuff that her family brought in, there were tubs. I don't know if you can see this. This is just one of the 2 tubs that I managed to pick up that has a lot of Melanie's finished little stitches. This is a Cricut Collection mitten. This was hanging up on the tree, the Halloween tree that was on Melanie's dining room table. I took a look at this. I looked at this multiple times over the years. It's a little acorn, and she finished it with some Halloween fabric. All of this stuff is finished by Mel. So here's some other Halloween stuff that she had hanging up on her tree. I don't know if all of this is Mill Hill, but these are some of the stuff that Melanie had finished over the years. I got quite a bit of her Halloween Mill Hill stuff. So, and this is all finished. She backed a lot of this with felt. I don't think it's sewn. I think a lot of these are glued, but she has like all these little Mill Hill things. So I have a whole big tub of all of these things. She also had quite a few of these wooden things that she had stitched and finished up as ornaments. So I have a lot of Melanie's Mill Hill things. She had completed quite a few of these Mill Hill angels. So I have these Mill Hill angels that she had completed. This one isn't backed. It's got the hanger on it, but it's not backed like the other ones. And the little ribbon came undone, so I'm gonna have to retie the ribbon on that one. This one also is not backed, but it's finished. This one has a felt back. Whoops. This one has a felt back. And then there was this one. I don't know if this is all of the angels from the Mill Hill set, but quite a few of them. I actually have this kit to do. I'm sorry that the light washes this out, but lots of little ornaments, some Halloween, some Christmas. Melanie really liked Halloween. Now all of these Melanie stitched, so I mean there is a lot of stuff. And these I think are intended to be put on sleds, but she just finished them on scrapbook paper, which is a neat idea. She used scrapbook paper or cardstock and cut tags and just basically glued them onto tags. Here's another one that she glued onto some cardstock. It's another Mill Hill. So I don't know if it'd be better off up close. I don't know. This is a beaded needle case. I believe this is one of Carol's from Cross My Heart. I think Carol taught how to do peyote beading. I think this is peyote beading over a needle case. But the needle case can come, it kind of comes out. But anyway, peyote beading on a needle case. Another one. Another pumpkin. Yeah, as I said, I lucked out. I got many of hers. Of her. This is only one of the containers, you guys. Cross My Heart. Some of the people from Cross My Heart were gifted these little beaded frogs. So I'm gonna have to find out the story from this. But this little beaded frog will now come to Camp Gotta Stitch with me. kind of in memory of Melanie. I believe a lot of the associates at Cross My Heart were gifted those. I don't know if it was like one of the employees made them or somebody curated them, found them online and ordered them for everybody. But I'm going to have to find the story out on the beaded frogs and keep that with it. But I have intentions of displaying all of these Mill Hill things that Melanie completed over the years up on my wall somewhere. One of the other things, this cross-eyed cricket mitten, I'm on the hunt for all the cross-eyed cricket collection mitten patterns. I know there were a lot of them that were given away as complimentary free patterns. I am looking for all of these cricket collection mitten patterns. So if any of you out there have leaflets or whatnot that you would be willing to share the mitten patterns with me from, I know some of them were published in leaflets, and I don't know how many cricket collection mittens might have been published in magazines, but I would be very much interested in obtaining those. Also, they had a series of kisses, like Hershey Kisses. They had a series of kisses and a series of carrots. I would be interested in doing those. So this is the other second box of the Mill Hill and miscellaneous ornaments that Melanie had on display in various places around her home. I showed you the wooden heart. She also had these wooden sweaters on these wooden sweater forms that she had finished. They're all backed with felt. So we have like the Christmas tree, the reindeer. I think that's the second. No, it's different reindeer. So you have the reindeer, the flamingo with the Santa hat. That's really cute. And the gnome. And then there's 3 more. So there is the cactus and the penguin, the little penguin guy. So lots of those. She also had a little wood penguin. She liked penguins as well. Again, some of these are Mill Hill kits. Some of these are all beaded. These next 4 I'm going to show you. These are all beads. So this is all beads. You're not going to be able to see the sparkle really well, but this is all beads, you guys. Little cardinal. It's all beads. And they have some weight. It's a little Christmas tree. It's all beads. Again, all beads. She was avid fan. She also liked sheep. Sheep were her thing. This was another Mill Hill thing. This one is also all beads, as is this one. Here is another sled thing that was finished on cardstock. It's just a piece of cardstock that she glued to. Here's another cardstock piece that she had. That was February. Here's a February heart. Really pretty. A couple of Mill Hill mittens. The snowman. The Santa. This was a series. I'll have to find the series out some more because she has a couple of these. She has a pride heart. I should have had this hanging up, and a gingerbread house. These are wood. So yeah, I managed to get. This says Noel. Managed to get a lot. Another heart. As I said, I came home with quite a few of Melanie's finished beaded Mill Hill things. She had more of these postage stamp type things. Yeah, all of these are finished and ready to be hung on Christmas tree or a wall. You might recognize some of these. Yeah. So this whole container. Look at this polar bear. This polar bear with the Christmas wreath around him. Really stinking cute. And look at these, the stack of presents. Stack of presents. It's another little Halloween thing. Christmas tree. She was a Pisces. This one's all beads. Has a little dangly. It says joy. Another one that's all beads. This one's really pretty. Okay. Another square one that's all beads. And then this one, I believe. So, one of the other associates in Cross My Heart, Emily J. Van from EJV Designs, also passed away a couple of years ago. I believe this is one of Emily J. Van, EJV Designs little trinkets that you can get. It's the little spool with the stitched thing around it. This one happens to be a little Halloween face. We were gifted one of them at the last Camp Got a Stitch that Emily attended before she passed away. A little pair. I'm sorry that the light is kind of washing these out. Oh, I have also a patriotic star, so I'll have to remember to put these kind of up on display somewhere in my home. I will, once I figure out how to display these properly, I will do another video showing how I actually displayed them. But I feel very, very privileged and very, very lucky that I was able to get this much of Melanie's finished baubles and finished ornaments, because she loved her Moho kits, and it's going to be great kind of keeping these on display in her honor. So yeah, whole big container full. This is probably, these two containers are probably my most prized possession of everything that Melanie had. I feel really lucky that I was able to bring these home. Melanie also collected teddy bears, and I was able to snag a sweet teddy bear that Melanie had. So this is Mr. Mel. I'm going to call him Mr. Mel, I think. Yeah, so I was able to bring this. I was able to bring this bear that Melanie had home. I don't remember where in her condo this bear resided, but yeah. So there's a bear from Melanie. He's gonna get a very nice thing, probably with Snoopy. So yeah. That's just a container actually that has to go to Cross My Heart. Oops. Let me pick that up before I forget. Put this in here. There we go. So, as I said, Melanie was an avid Mill Hill cross-stitch kit buyer. Look at all these Mill Hill cross-stitch kits that I procured from Melanie's stash. So we have Winter Holiday. I think she might have actually stitched this because the floss is carded. I'll have to look because the perforated paper is still in here. So I think she might have stitched this on something else. But I don't have it, so I get to stitch it. And this is a kit that she had, the May 1862 Snowflake Forget-Me-Nots and Stitches from the 2010 Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue. The little kit that Cross My Heart had put together, including some of the flosses. Winter Holiday. Buttons and beads. So a lot of these are Mill Hill kits that I will be stitching up in memory of Melanie. This was one that she had actually finished the stitching on and added the beads. but she actually did not finish it. So I get to finish this one for Melanie. So that is another one that I get to hang up. She has the sleigh. She had quite a few of those hanging up throughout her condo. And all of these are the full kits, you guys. Owl. Stocking. Really happy with this one. Jim Shore, she had this Santa. Gingerbread. Harvest. So my Mill Hill kits just expanded quite amazingly. The llamas, the Christmas llamas. Hocus Pocus trilogy. She had the Hocus Pocus trilogy. I don't know if I don't think I have all three of them. The Snow Folks. I have one or two of these Santas. I don't think I have that one already. Little Halloween ornaments. Yeah, I got a lot of Mill Hill kits that she had that she hadn't yet got to. Little gingerbread house. This one is really sweet. It's called Tropical Kitty, but it reminds me of Lunabon, so I am going to stitch this and call that Lunabon. I think I just showed that one. There's one that says Halloween, but yeah, so this is another one that she had stitched. This is the bubblegum machine. You can see she stitched it already. I think it still needs some work and some beads, I think, because not all the beads are on it. So this one is in progress. You can see some of the white around the red and where the gumballs are. This one's not finished, so that's going to be on my to finish list. This is a pair of ice skates. Boo. Another gingerbread house. Joy. And then this is called Spring Sheep. This was a little teeny kit that she is kitted up. I think this is like a shepherd's bush. I'm not really sure. But it has the fibers. Is this a shepherd's bush? Spring sheep. Shepherd's bush. Yes, it is a shepherd's bush. And it does have, it has the silk. Yes, I believe it's silk. So it has the silk bits, and it has the pattern. Yeah, it has the pattern. That's kind of exciting. I'm not going to show you that, but it has the pattern, spring sheep, and also the fabric to do it on. So I will be actually stitching that sometime, because I don't think she stitched that. So that'll be fun to do. So these were all the Mill Hills that now well, not all of them, but this is a good chunk of the Mill Hill kits that Mel had in her stash. I just randomly went through and grabbed some to bring home. A lot of people don't like to, a lot of people that Mel knew didn't like to stitch Mill Hill kits because they involve beads and such. But, yeah, so I don't know if this one is stitched. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, so some of these I'm going to have to look through and find out if she's actually stitched them. Like that one, I don't think, tree shopping. Yeah, I don't think she stitched it. But this bubblegum ball one, I'm probably gonna leave out and finish. So that was her Mill Hill kits that I picked up. At some point, she also likes sunflowers. At some point in time, she had stitched this. So this was in a pile of stuff that I had picked up. This is called the Sunflower Seed, Sunflower Santa. She also had this set, Val Stuff Halloween Favorites, Book 2 Limited Edition. It has all the perforated paper, some of the buttons, and some flosses, and the finishing felt for it. Val Stuff Halloween Favorites. This was part of Mel's stash. This was something that Mel had started, and it looks like it was a class. I don't know what she planned on doing with it, but this was a class that she had taken. The interesting thing is I have now some of Mel's handwriting, so I doubt I will ever get rid of this. Mel took notes on some of her things, but this is a kit by Lois Karen. I think this is a Karen collection. The thread people, to bead or not to bead. Lois Karen, 2014. Free pattern for the use of our website visitors only. No other use without permission. And this is what Mel was working on. She was using greens because Celtic, so she was using Victorian motto flosses for her these two greens for her thing. This was her progress that she had made on it. So I will be learning some new stitches and getting this completed for her, hopefully. But she had done this on white, I believe this is 14 count perforated paper, using Victoria Motto Spirited Green, Victorian Motto Spirited Green, and Victorian Motto Lucky Leprechaun. There we go, Lucky Leprechaun. So really nice green colors. So I will be hopefully finishing this up for Melanie as well. While we're on the thing of Moselle, or not Moselle, Victorian Motto, Melanie really liked Victorian Motto threads, and a lot of people across my heart doesn't carry Victorian Motto flosses, and Mel had quite the collection of Victorian Motto flosses. I had purchased some Victorian Motto flosses myself a year or two back, and when I saw these in the box of stuff and people were just passing them over, I realized they were Victorian Motto, and I snatched them up. So my collection of Victorian Motto flosses just ballooned. So I now have a big selection of Victorian Motto flosses. Now I know there are some YouTubers and some influencers in the cross stitch community that will not stitch using Victorian Motto flosses because of things that have been said or mentioned, or points of view that the people associated with the company have. I do not know the reasonings. I haven't seen them. I did a little digging, but not enough to really know for myself the whole meaning behind it. But because I already had Victorian Motto, and I know that Melanie had Victorian Motto flosses, and she was obviously using Victorian Motto flosses, I chose to grab them and bring them home. Yes, because these came from Melanie, and these were in Melanie's stash, I will be using Victorian Motto flosses. I as of right now, I don't know if I support Victorian motto. I don't know the whole story behind it. If somebody could message me privately that might know, or put me in touch with somebody that I can talk to about kind of what happened and why people choose not to use this company anymore, that would be great. I would really appreciate it. But just know that because these were already purchased, I will be using them because I think the colors are pretty fantastic, and the little bit that I've stitched with Victorian motto floss, the floss is wonderful, you guys. So because this came from my friend Mel, I am going to be putting some of this into some of the pieces that I stitch going forward. So I have Mel's, as far as I know, almost all of Mel's Victorian motto floss collection. Mel was also a punch needler. Mel did punch needle, and she had all these countdown to Christmas kits. Now, if you remember correctly, I was gifted or given the opportunity to purchase these kits. I had picked up a couple of them on clearance at Cross My Heart, because Cross My Heart also sells punch needle kits. And Mel actually had finished some of these. So not only do I have some of Mel's cross stitch, I have some of Mel's punch needle as well. This set was one in particular that she actually finished and fully finished. So these are ready to display. So I have these ready to go. So this is punch needle that was done by my friend Melanie and finished by my friend Melanie at some point in her illustrious stitching career. So we have the punch needle kits. This one is not punched, so it has the punch needle fabric with the design and everything on it. This one is not punched either. These ones are fully finished. So I can actually make a punch needle tree that has Melanie's ornaments on it, and I will be adding to it because I also have these. These were the two that I actually finished punching last year. I finished both of these. So yeah, that's good. And then there's these two. So I have quite a few of them. Oh, cute. Cute, cute, cute. And then this last little bit here. Oh, would help if I got these out. So these are finished as well. Yeah, so that's kind of cool that I have her punch needle. I was a little surprised to find that she had finished quite a few of them. I didn't know that she was avidly punching, but it makes sense that she would be because that's just who she was. And they were all in these like wonderful mesh project bags. So now I have all these great little kits to go through. I talked about those. I'm going to leave out. Talk about that more in a minute. Melanie also really liked shepherd's bush. So this is really cute. I have this shepherd's bush thing. It's called Merry Notes. I'm probably actually going to stitch that. I don't know if Melanie did, but I don't have her copy of it. But anyway, Merry Notes. That is going in my thing. She had this love tree ornament that I am going to be stitching up. She had the Hope tree ornament that I'm going to be stitching up. She might have already stitched them up at one point in time. Then she has this big, huge conglomeration with all this DMC floss. This is the Just Cross Stitch Santa Ornament Kit. I think I opened this up and it told me what Santa ornament it was, but I'm going to actually open it up again and take a look. Oh, so this is it's Find Me in Just Cross Stitch Magazine 2007 Ornament Issue, Cindy Valentine Designs. It is this Santa from the 2007 Just Cross Stitch Magazine, and it has everything in it. It has the fabric to do it, the finishing fabric, the stuffing, needles, and beads. So this kit is everything to stitch this Santa that you need. So another little kit that I have to enjoy. Another kit of Melanie's that I had to enjoy. She had one of the kisses from Cricut Collection. She had the pumpkin kiss, so I have the pumpkin kiss from Cricut Collection to add to my stash. She also had MLI's Farmers Market, one of Nora Corbett's mom's patterns. I think she might have actually stitched this. I don't know. Here is EJV Designs pattern. This is called Work in Progress. Work in Progress. EJV Designs, Work in Progress. I think she had stitched this. Here is my friend Melanie Pratt. Her memorial card says she died on March 19th. She actually died on March 17th. 2025. This was my friend Melanie. A little bit about her from a memorial service. Foxbury Cottage, a counted cross-stitch chart. Melanie liked to travel with some churches. This is another Shepherd's Bush kit. It's a sheep. This one is not stitched. Little sheepy with a little witch's hat, and it comes with the witch's hat and the silk. This is a piece of 28 count. I don't remember, did this have stitching on it? 28 count Sea Mist. So this was in Melanie's stash. Look at this color. Look at this green. It's kind of washed out, but it's a kind of a very nice seafoam green. So I have a piece of fabric from Melanie's stash that I will be adding to mine and finding something appropriate to stitch on it. So lots of fun things. She had also collected some of these Spirit of Christmas books and Santa Remembered. She really loves Santas, so some of these Santa Remembered books, she was hoping to stitch some of these Santas in here. I think these are all Carol Emmer, or let's see, who says General St. Nick? Maybe not, but I'll have to look more into this to find out who's the artist behind them. But this is a whole big book of Santas. Mel really liked her Santas. She was an avid prairie schooler stitcher, so she had a lot of prairie schooler things up on her wall. This is the Spirit of Christmas book. This one is Creative Holiday Ideas Book 3 from Leisure Arts. These books have a lot of recipes in them. So this one has, it had a little blurb of the night before Christmas kind of tucked away in it. It's probably something that Melanie had put in here. Lots of cross stitch bits in this one. So this also came from Melanie. I'll probably put Melanie's name inside the book somewhere. But these Spirit of Christmas books, they actually have quite a few recipes. I don't know that Melanie would have ever fixed anything out of these books, but I have quite a few of these books, and I have 2 more to add to my stash, thanks to Melanie. And then the piece de resistance, a couple of whips that Melanie had going. So this is the last little bit of it. I said that Melanie was an avid prairie schooler stitcher. These are nutcrackers, the prairie schooler nutcrackers. She has all her flosses in here that she was using. A lot of these are Victorian motto. There's a lot of Crescent Colorworks sampler threads, Whisper. There's some Whisper thread in here. But these are also ones that I will be finishing up because Melanie did not get to them. This is a Baba Yaga of some sort. This is a Prairie Schooler Santa. These are ones that Melanie had started to stitch that I will be finishing up in memory of Melanie. So these are now whips in my whip parade. So there are the Prairie Schooler miscellaneous Santas. She also had this one. I think this is Double Double, Toil and Trouble from Prairie Schooler. And this one is the North Wind Santa. So yes. And more Victorian motto flosses. This was a set that I have ordered 2 of the missing blocks. She had all but 2 of the patterns in her set. So she was doing the Country Cottage Needleworks Sweet Treats. So she had gotten the Sweet Treats set, and she was missing block 4 and 6. She has, don't mind this, but she had all of the Crescent Colorworks flosses in here that she needed for them. So and she had started it. She had started this, so I will be taking this over for her. I don't know when she started this, but she was stitching this on a piece of 28 count lavender bliss casual linen. She had a fat quarter of it, so it's on a very, very pale lavender color. She didn't get very far. She was doing them all together, and this is the progress that Melanie had made on this piece. So she had some of the border done. I believe that is the top. Yes, that is the top in the middle. She had some of the white border done on it. You can see there. And that is all that she had stitched on this. So I will be bringing this out in memory of Melanie as well at some point soon. So I will be adding, I have block, I think 6, or I have the whole thing on order. I'm not really sure. I'll have to double check with them, or figure out how to get the block number 4 and block number 6. But Melanie had 4 of the 6 patterns in the stash. I don't necessarily know that, you know, they might have been in some of the other things, but that her family had brought to the memorial. But anyway, this is something that I will be stitching up for Melanie. Yeah, so lots of things going on. And it continues. This is from Little House Needleworks. It's called I Love My Home. I don't know if this is no, I don't think it's a free pattern. I'm gonna go ahead and cover this up, but it's Little House Needleworks I Love My Home. Melanie was doing this Overdue on a piece of even weave using classic Colorworks flosses, and she hadn't gotten very far. This is her stitching, so I will be finishing this up for her. She is doing the she's doing the 2-color version. So the pattern has a 2-color, 3-color version, 4-color version, 5-color version, or a single version. So I will be actually stitching this up: English Ivy, Cayenne, Caterpillar, and I assume that other color is the Fox, Caterpillar, Roasted Chestnut, I don't know. Oh, it's a kit. So this was a kit that she had purchased. English Ivy, Red Fox, Roasted Chestnut. She doesn't have the silk. Okay. But yeah, so I will be finishing this up for her as well. Stick this back in here. Okay. Some spooky buttons. I think this is for one of the cubes. Again, avid prairie schooler stitcher. I will be finishing this Santa up and probably stitching some of the other ones. She is in progress on this one. And I have her DMC flosses that she was using with this. So this one appears to be this Santa right here that she was stitching. I don't know how many of these she actually had stitched, but I have these now. So I am probably going to be stitching them myself. I don't know if I'll do that. I might do them on perforated paper. I might find some stuff and do them as little pillows. So I have this as well to finish. And then the last little thing that I have to finish for her. So I had to actually go out and purchase the Sunflower Fairy by Nora Corbett because she did not have this in her stash. This print is not the best print, but this is what the Sunflower Fairy looks like. Again, Mel really likes sunflowers, so obviously she stitched this. And when I saw this, I had to snag it because she was not finished stitching this or doing the beading on it. She's finished all the stitching. All the stitching on this is complete. She's not finished with the beading on it. So I still have the beading to complete for her. But for all intents and purposes, this is stitched. And I do have the beads because they were with the fabric. But I had to find the pattern, so I went to Hirschner's. Hirschner's has this. This was in a Just Cross Stitch magazine. I don't know which issue of Just Cross Stitch this Sunflower Fairy was published in, but you can get this pattern from Hirschner's. And that's what I did. I got the pattern from Hirschner's because I didn't have the pattern in any of her things. So at some point this summer, I will be finishing up Melanie's Sunflower Fairy by Nora Corbett. She was also an avid Nora Corbett stitcher. So have this to finish for her. So that is a lot, you guys. that is a lot. Got a lot to do for Mel, Melanie. Yeah, she's gonna be missed. She's definitely gonna be missed. So let me get all of her kits. I kind of had them organized. She had these project bags as well. So these are all the things that I have to finish up. The bag of things that I have to finish. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in here too. But yeah, Melanie Pratt. This is my friend Melanie. May she forever rest in peace. I know she's looking down on all of us and keeping us company, telling stories, singing, just being our happy-go-lucky self. One of the other things I wanted to show. So this was a project bag that was actually in Melanie's stash of stuff. This is an Aurora Borealis project bag. I don't know exactly who made this. I don't know where she might have gotten this Aurora Borealis bag, but I picked it up. It was in her container, along with these two Mill Hill kits that were also in Mel's stash, and I have started one of them. So we have this painted pumpkin and this painted pumpkin. Not this weekend, last weekend was, or was it the weekend before? Origins Game Fair, the big board game convention that my husband and I go to, happened, and I had taken these two kits with me to stitch on, just in case I had some downtime, and I managed to put in 103 stitches on this first pumpkin. It's on the perforated paper called for. It is this one here. So I managed to put in 103 stitches. So I started this in memory of Mel during Origins Game Fair. So I have been stitching for Mel, and it's in her Aurora Borealis project bag because Mel is special and out of this world. She was an out of this world person, so it's going in here with that. That is some of my progress for the month of June, by the way, is the 103 stitches on the pumpkin, the Mill Hill pumpkin. Alright, that is pretty much all of Mel's stitching haul that I have. Yeah, so I have a lot of sweet memories from my friend Mel to share. While we're on the subject of haul, let me get down to some of the haul that I have. Dollar Tree has diamond painting kits. You might not always be able to find them. They are $1.25. I picked these two up because I thought they were really cute. My mom, I bought one of these for my mom, the little mushroom house. She has put it together. It's really cute. They're really tiny. This one is a starfish on the beach. Looking forward to doing these. These are nice little one evening kits that you can put together, but these are diamond painting kits. I got them from the Dollar Tree, or as I like to call it, the $1.25 tree. So these were diamond painting kits that I picked up. More diamond painting things. These came from that store that I am not going to name. This is a fall diamond painting kit with a sunflower, acorn, leaves, and pumpkin. Really cute. $4 for this little diamond painting kit. I think I have another one. Maybe not. Okay. Alright, if you followed my channel for any length of time, you know that I am in the Bestitch Me hand-dyed fabric of the month club, and I get I believe it is the colors that I get, and we have the May and the June fabric of the months. The May fabric of the month is called Ocean Depths. I get 36 or 40 count Verdal. The Bestitch Me 40 count Verdal is like stitching on butter, you guys. The Verdal, 40 count Verdal, is probably my most favorite fabric. It is so soft. It is so beautiful to work with. So this is the Ocean Depths. Look at this fabric, you guys. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I've been stitching a lot on 40 count fabric because I really have been enjoying being able to stitch over one or over two strands using one strand of floss, because you don't have to use a laying tool to make it look nice. You can use one strand. So in essence, 40 count becomes 20 count when stitched over two. And it allows you to use one strand of floss and you get absolute perfect coverage. So Ocean Depths was the May Be Stitch Me fabric. The June Be Stitch Me fabric is Dusk. It's a very pretty purplish pink. This, again, this is 40 count Verdal. This is going to look a little washed out or a little more purple than it might be in real life. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. But yeah, this 40 count Verdal that Be Stitch Me has been putting out my favorite fabric of all time. Absolute favorite. I am stitching the Year in the Woods part 1. I am stitching the Year in the Woods by Cottage, I believe it's Cottage Garden Samplings, on the Bestitch Me fabric set that they specially dyed when A Year in the Woods came out. So I got the set of 4 fabrics so I can stitch each of the seasons on one piece of fabric together. I am currently working on the Bald Eagle. You've probably seen that in the past. So my most recent 2 pieces of fabric of the month from Bestitch Me. I picked up a couple of inexpensive patterns. I don't remember where I was at, but I thought this was cute. I've had my eye on this for a little while. U.S. Postage Stamp Kit Collection from DMC. This was only $1, so I thought that was really cute. It doesn't come, it was a kit, but it doesn't come with anything. It was just the pattern, so I figured for $1. Then I picked this up. This is also Christmas ornaments charted for cross stitch. Some really cute old vintage patterns in here. This is from Leisure Arts. Really cute. This is copyright 1980. So this is copyright 1980 from Leisure Arts. I just figured that would be neat to add to my stash of things. Put that down here with these. A coworker of mine is helping his mom move to assisted living in Michigan, and he was helping her a couple weeks ago go through some stuff, and she had some craft room stuff that she was kind of getting rid of, and he picked out a couple of things to bring to me. This is a Crafter's Pride hand towel that has little Ada stitching area on it. So I may actually use that. Oh, there's 2 little bandings. So there's this wider band here, and then there's a smaller band in the back. So I may find something to use this with. He also brought me a piece of dark blue Ada, 14 count from DMC, dark blue Ada. In a nice little hangy package. This is a 14 count bread cover by Charles Craft. It's a little white one. with a finished edge, little frayed finished edge. It's a bread cover. This is a set of black 14 count Aida MCG textiles. And then he found this kit. This is a really cute kit. This is a Debbie Mum kit, counted cross stitch, 17-inch long front door bow. So I am probably actually going to stitch this up. This came from my coworker's mom's house. And this one has the banding that you stitch everything on and then you tie it. So I will be making that a project sometime soon. So we have some fabrics and a kit to put in our stash. Mom will probably be the one using the Aida. I am not typically a 14 count Aida stitcher. I've been wanting to stitch on 20 and 22 count. I might use the bread cover for something. I don't know yet. But anyway, that is some stash that we have. And then I got the 2026 keepsake calendar, the keepsake cross stitch calendar in the mail. So there's some neat things in here. So the keepsake calendar, it used to be in the back of the calendar, they would put with the month, in the back of the calendar, they used to print the patterns in the back of the calendar. And then a few years ago, they got smart and they issued the booklet that has all the cross stitch patterns in it to match the calendar. So you get the calendar and then you get the booklet of all the patterns. So I am actually going to show you. They have the Statue of Liberty. A couple other ones. They have this castle. They have this Halloween scene, this fall welcome, and Santa relaxing by the fire. For sure, I'm going to stitch this Halloween thing. Look at that. Look at the Halloween. And it is stitched on dark fabric, so you don't have to stitch the dark sky, but you stitch everything else. So I will show you, kind of do a walkthrough of the keepsake calendar that I got. Then you have these rocking around the Christmas tree. It's kind of fun. The polar bears in their igloo. The love sampler. And a cup of tea solves everything. I believe this is an Erin Condren. And then there's also these patterns in here. So you have this nice little bee wreath. You have this spring. You have this nautical ship in a boat. You obviously have the Statue of Liberty from the front cover and the tropical penguins on vacation. So that is the 2026 keepsake calendar. So I'm going to hopefully be stitching a couple of these this year. All right. I believe that is all of my haul. And those pages just went behind the thing. All right. So that is all of my haul that I have to share with you. Yes. Yes. So we're going to move on to stitching progress. So my last video was very early in May, and May, much like April, or at least what I thought was much like April, well, I can't say that. March, I thought May turned out to be a lot like March, and it did. But March, I stitched 200 more stitches than I did in May. So here is my stitching log sheet. You see all those dates underneath my pointy finger in the red column? You see all those dates that say no stitching? Yeah, I didn't stitch a lot in the month of May. I only stitched 520 stitches. I stitched on 2 projects. I finished one of them, but I stitched on 2 projects. The project that got the most stitches was also the project I finished. It was Be the Good by Amy Birkin Designs. So, Be the Good by Amy Birkin Designs. Okay. I started this in January, on January 2nd, 2025. I finished it May 25th, 2025. I used 40 count Bee Stitch Me fabric. Oh, excuse me. And lightly salted, not roasted. That was the July 2023 fabric of the month. So it was the July 2023 fabric of the month. Lightly salted, not roasted. 40 count. And I finished it. I haven't fully finished it, but I finished it. Be the good in the world. And I even signed it. You can see right here. I put my initials and the year on it. So be the good in the world. The one thing I did change, so in the pattern, if you look at the pattern, you see the door with the wreath? It has no door handle, and I thought that was really weird. So be the good in the world is a sentiment, like a greeting or a well wish on your way out the door visiting somebody's house. I believe, if I'm remembering the sentiment right, I had to look it up to see what it said or to see what it meant. But anyway, it was something to say to somebody, I think, as they were leaving your house. I thought it looked really weird without the door having a handle or anything. So what I did on mine, I don't know if you can see it, I added the little French knot to my door to give it a door handle. That was the only change that I made to the pattern. So I will be coordinating backing fabric to this and making this a double pillow. But I also need to find a source for the, I need to source the litter, the lizard litter, or the crushed walnut shells to stuff the pillow with to make it a little heavier. So my goal is to find lizard litter to stuff this with. So this was a finish in May of the two pieces. The other piece I worked on in May was Square Dance. Square Dance by Heart and Hand. And I worked on the April and May box down here. Again, I am doing 3 months in a row. 3 months in a row each quarter. So I can make them into double pillows and display them in my double on my coffee table. So April and May. Oh, goodness. So that is what I was working on. I finally got the missing floss color that I was still needing. I do have the full set. So this is January, February, and March. I have all 12 months in this set. So I will be working on that sometime this month. This is in a Dot Dot Goose project bag. Right? Yep, Dot Dot Goose. This is from Dot Dot Goose. And then the inside has like candy canes and stuff. So that is that. So those were the two things that I stitched on in May and June. So in May, 2 projects, total of 520 stitches, which is the lowest month so far. Haven't counted up June's yet, but that's coming. And I picked 2 projects. Be the Good, that it was a finish in Square Dance by Heart and Hand. So going on to June. So June, I stitched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days so far in the month of June, with a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 50, 758 stitches in the month of June. 758 stitches. I'm not doing really good on my stitching this month. So for June, in the blue column, you can see, in the blue column over here, you can see that I still have a lot of no stitching days in the month of June as well. And then in the yellow was Origins Game Fair. So I obviously didn't do any stitching for that because we were at Origins Game Fair for the month of June. The two pieces that I did work on in June, I was trying to work on semi-seam stitchers. They had a, what was it? You had to pick 4 whips, and it was Uno, semi-seam stitchers Uno. So you were playing the card game Uno. You had 4 whips that you had to designate at the beginning of the game. And of those 4 whips, depending on the Uno card that was selected for that day, you'd either stitch on one of the specific 4 whips, or if it was to draw 2 or skip or reverse or whatever, you would kind of, based on the previous day's whip, you would go to that project and stitch 200. So each time the number was called, you stitched 100 stitches. Each time a reverse or skip or draw 2 card came up, it was 200 stitches on whatever it was to work on, unless you got Uno. If Uno was drawn, you had to do 100 stitches on all 4 of your projects in 24 hours. So I had good intentions for the semi-seam Uno challenge. I did the first 4 days, and that was it. I only put in stitches on 2 of my whips for Uno, and those were the only 2 whips that I stitched on for the entire month of June. So the first one that got stitches for the month of June was Flamboyance of Flamingos by Carolyn Manning. This is part of the Shooting Stars collection. So I am stitching this on a piece of Color and Cotton Petunia. And I stitched some of this and some of this right here. But this is on Color and Cotton Petunia. This is 36 count Edinburgh. I am doing it 1 strand over 1 full cross. Again with the 1 strand. But yes, so Flamboyance of Flamingos. That is all I got stitching done on. And then the last piece that I got stitching on. So for Flamboyance of Flamingos, I had 308 stitches. 308 stitches on Flamboyance of Flamingos. Let me write that down. Flamingos. 308. Oh, he ended up 308. And then, so the only other piece that I worked on besides the pumpkin was Words to Live By Tiny Modernist. So this was a stitch along that came out. This was a stitch along that came out. I don't know when it came out. 2020. It was posted in bits and pieces. So at first you could do the white border. Then the first The first part of the pattern was the big middle piece, and then it started over here and went across. Like, I think it went across here, down, and up and around. So, on Words to Live By, I stitched 347 stitches. And then the pumpkin was 105. Sorry, 105. So, math is hard, you guys. 308. Calculator. 308 plus 347 plus 105. 760 stitches. 760 stitches, 3 projects. Oh, goodness. So, Words to Live By. This is where I got to on Words to Live By. That 300 and some stitches was right here in this banner in the second square. It says comes easily. That is where I got to on Words to Live By. This is a neglected cell. This is also Whip Go, so I have another 200 stitches to put in for Whip Go. I don't remember what square this is, but anyway, this is for a Whip Go thing as well. I need to get working on this and get some of this finished. I don't have the information off the top of my head what color fabric I am stitching this on. It's in the bag, but I don't have that handy. I can tell you here in just a second. So it is being stitched on 30 count weeks linen and Purple Rain using the called for colors. I subbed bead 5200 for the white. I started it in 2019. The first square that I completed in January of 2021. So this square up here was completed in January of 2021. I have to I'm gonna have to do something about that, but anyway, so yeah, I'm way behind on that. So that is going back out to the living room so I can stitch on that. And that is all the progress of everything that I have for my stitching thing. I don't know if I will be stitching any more for the month of July. The month of June was rather busy. My husband and I, we went to Origins Game Fair, which is a big board game convention here in Columbus, Ohio. It's been in Columbus since 1996. We have been attending since 1996. It's our big expense every year. We save up. This year I think we had like $1,200 or something to spend there. But it's our big board game expense for the year. My husband and I participated in a speed puzzling competition twice, and I participated in the solo speed puzzling competition, which was a lot of fun. I got to pick up several puzzles. We picked up 2 games and a few books and some other stuff there. So that was awful fun. Very, very tiring though. I was really tired the Monday that I took off afterwards. Really tiring. So we pretty much all but recovered from that. No real plans. Nothing coming up. Nothing coming up in July. So Friday coming up this week is the 4th of July. I do have Friday off. We have no plans to really go see any fireworks displays. No plans to set off fireworks. The big fireworks display here in Columbus is the Red, White, and Boom display downtown on Thursday the 3rd. We don't go to that because there's usually over 1 million people down there. and it's just too hot, too hard to get down there. You have to get down there early to pick a spot, and with 1 million people, it's a lot. We don't take the day off to go down there. We just avoid it like the plague. We usually go find a little local fireworks display to watch on the 4th. So we'll probably do that on Friday the 4th. And usually it's just my husband and I. We just usually go out and find some place, you know, go out for an hour and a half, 2 hours, watch fireworks, and come back home. Just kind of hang out for a while. Don't really have any other plans. I had mentioned that Mom and I are going to Camp Got a Stitch. I will put the information to Cross My Heart, which is the cross-stitch store here in Columbus that puts together the Camp Got a Stitch retreat in Amish Country, Ohio. It is coming up the weekend before Labor Day, so it's the last weekend in August. The weekend before Labor Day is when Camp Got a Stitch is happening. Mom and I registered for camp. We did get that done, and so we are going. Unfortunately, we're going, and we don't get to sit with Melanie Pratt, our friend, but her really good friend and roommate, Susan, will be joining us and hopefully sitting at our table again this year. She mentioned that she was going. She had paid for her registration, and I told her when I saw her at Melanie's memorial service that she is more than happy to sit at our table again. So we are looking forward to going to that retreat at the end of August. And the Western PA, Eastern Ohio Facebook group that Mom and I are